Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Wealth Metrics podcast for real estate investors, where we try to bring things, tips, secrets that will help real estate investors to take their business from the level they are now to another level. My name is James Egodibe, and I am the host for this Wealth Metrics podcast. And we have an amazing lady with us in this episode to just talk to us about this new platform called Clubhouse. She's an amazing lady. She's done so much, and she's actually broken a record in this new podcast platform called Clubhouse. She has actually hosted a meeting room for 20 days, 24/7. Wow, nobody has done that. Nobody has gone close to that. And this is somebody that has actually gone through a lot, and her backstory is really inspiring to me. There was a time that she was actually down and wanted to give up, but remembered the voice and the word of her mom, and that's actually just brought back that energy, that motivation. And look at her now, she's done an amazing thing. Well, I will just leave her to actually tell us the story, and then we'll just dive in to what Clubhouse is all about and how we can use it as a strategy to lift our business up. We have with us in this episode Jodeen Bergstrom. Jodeen, you're welcome, and thank you so much for accepting this invitation to come and speak to real estate investors. Before we dive into the question, Jodeen, please, can you just tell us a little bit about your backstory?
Oh, happy to. And just want to thank you so much, James, for providing this environment and this safe space for real estate people to come into and learn and, definitely be inspired and learn all the tactics that there are, because I know that you are always dropping value bombs. So thank you for allowing me on here. I'm very grateful for that. My name is Jodeen, and I'm addicted to Clubhouse.
Yes, she is. She is.
I just say that because the platform has been amazing, but a little bit about my backstory. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I was 18 days old when my mom took me to my first concession stand, so I don't know how much more DNA you can get into me. I've just always been a hustler. My mom was, she was a teacher, by trade, but that allowed her summers to be open. So we were at fruit stands, and she had a huge garden, concession stands, and just always hustling. So I didn't realize that there was a concept called 9 to 5. I didn't realize you could go get a job and they would pay you just for those certain hours, because we were always just working, growing up on a farm. It was 24/7 all the time. But I'm grateful and very happy that, I was gifted with that. My parents are amazing. They've passed on. But in that, my journey for 33 years, I have been an entrepreneur, 33 plus actually. I started a successful flower shop in Breckenridge, Colorado. Love that. Love the mountains. Our family started growing, and we weren't trust fund babies. So the reality of, not, and when you have kids, we made $80,000 on our townhouse when we sold it, but we needed another 100 just to go with that to move up into the next level that was going to be big enough. So we made the decision to come back to Midwest, and we were in Abilene, Kansas. There, I did. I didn't do as much on the entrepreneurship because we had 5 daughters at the time, and took that as a serious profession and raised them, and really were around them. I did contract labor in landscape design, so I still was kind of dabbling in entrepreneurship. And then when we about 15 years ago, we moved back to North Dakota, my home state, where I bought a restaurant and had a very successful run with that during the oil boom. And anybody that was in the area, we probably fed them, because we moved about 950 pounds of hamburger a week.
Wow.
And as far as my work ethic in that, because it was so new and it was really truly the Wild West, I was in the restaurant for 167 days straight, just because when we first started, you just didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And, you do what you got to do. So definitely have had a lot of things in that time period. That's about 3 years ago is when, things started to change. I lost both my parents within 3 months of each other. And then we closed down the restaurant just because the valve had, been shut off for the oil industry. And then about 8 months later, my husband of 33 years walked out on me. So I found myself, like you said, in that valley, contemplating if life was even worth it. I heard the words of my mom, which said, go out and be so successful that you piss them off even more. And
Awesome.
that refrains to my siblings in the jealousy that they had for my success. And so I made a decision that if I took my life, the reality is that my siblings were going to win, and I didn't want that. So that tenacity stepped in there. And when I stepped onto Clubhouse, I, came in with an open mind of like, what can I do with this? Where is this going to take me? And have had extreme opportunities. If you would have said anything on December 20th of some of the opportunities I've had of speaking into Grant and Elena Cardone and Ty Lopez and Damon John and Les Brown. If you guys are familiar with Les Brown, he is been a mentor of mine for many years. Got to have conversations with him, and Sharon Letcher, she's the co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, as well as she just came out with a new book, Outwitting the Devil. So we're going to have a private broadcast with her, and so excited. But I would have never, even thought possible. But the power of this platform has been amazing. And if you go in with openness and, allowing the doors to open, you will be amazed at what you can get out of it. And if you strategic go in with a plan, it will definitely open up doors for you.
Awesome. What a story. Jodeen, I know that looking at every measures that we can actually think about, you have been successful in Clubhouse in just a short period of time that this platform started. What's the secret?
Well, for me, when I came on, it's interesting because Russell Brunson, who is the founder of ClickFunnels, he sent me an invite, and so I signed up thinking that it would take me a week to get in. Kevin Anson, who is his lead video photographer for many years, allowed me into the front. It is a clubhouse. There are some rules and there are some games that are played, and so he expedited it, and I got in, and I was like wondering what it was. And so, they told me to open a room, and I opened a room, and it sucked because nobody showed up. And I was like, what is this? Everybody says it's so great, and I was like, well, okay, I don't need this app. So I put it down and, didn't find any rooms that I really wanted the first night. And then the second day, I was like, well, let me just try this. So I opened up the app again, went in and found my entrepreneurs. I found like-minded people, and, they really embraced me and just encouraged me and told me to apply for a club. So I applied for a club, and then they said, well, open another room. And I was like, why would I open a room? I just did that last night and nobody showed up. It sucked, I can sit at home and not, I got teenagers that don't listen to me. Why do I want to open a room? And they said, oh no, just do it again. So I put on there how to run a successful virtual live summit, because BC, before Clubhouse, that's what I worked mostly in, was how to do virtual live summits. So I opened up the door and had about 20 people in, and really just embraced and learned how much fun it was. And one of the people that were in that group was Kate Hancock, the Pivot Queen. And she said, you know how to speak. I want to do a room for 24/7. Will you come in and co-host with me? And I said, well, it's close to Christmas. I don't know if I can do that. And I looked at Clubhouse on my phone, and I looked at my two gnarly daughters, because with COVID and everything, we didn't have our normal family thing. And I thought, teenagers or Clubhouse? And I get to know which one I chose.
Clubhouse.
And then when we opened up that room, we were just going to go 24/7, but after we got up after the 24 hours, and I didn't stay up that whole time. But Kate said, now, the record is 12 days. We need to go longer than 12 days. And so it was New Year's, and, going into the new year and whatnot. And once again, I looked at the teenagers and I looked at Clubhouse and said, let's do it. So we ended up going, at about 18 days, Kate said to me, she goes, we've been going for 18 days. And I thought, I haven't done laundry in 18 days. And so at about about 20, we tapped out. We, we vetted people because that name of that room was how to run $1 million business. And if you're not familiar with how Clubhouse works, we have on the stage, usually there are guest speakers or experts. And so we wanted to make sure that they were, in alignment and really able to teach, how to run $1 million business. So we did have applications. We brought people up. We had probably close to, because it went 24/7. There were some other experts at night that I didn't always see, but we had probably over 300, guest speakers on the stage. And it was really the foregrounds for a lot of people that are, in those big rooms now, kind of, help them open up the doors. And, it was fun. It's definitely been an honor, but, I went in with an opportunity or, with just an open-minded of how can I utilize this? How can this be, my voice? And so it's accumulation, in that 20 days, it really accelerated my experience because I had a lot of opportunity to try different things and, be able to hone in on my techniques and whatnot. So that's, kind of in a nutshell of, why it was so successful for me.
Wow, awesome. Thank you so much. Now we're talking to our real estate investors, and I'm sure some of them probably have joined Clubhouse and some have not joined. And even the ones that have joined, they probably they are still trying to figure out how this thing works, right? What are the tips that you can give to our real estate investors to properly utilize this platform?
That's an excellent question. And I do have some friends that are in the real estate area and have been watching them really, tap in and be able to do it. The big thing with Clubhouse, the voice inflections are real. And so you truly can find, the morals and integrity behind the person. And as we all know, real estate, at the end of the day, it is relationships that sell. And so, I would recommend, if you're looking, I think a lot of your guys are looking for investors. There are Shark Tank type like rooms where you can go in and pitch. And there's also practice pitches. And, when you go in there, don't be afraid to go up and get ripped apart because they're there to help you. They will encourage you and really teach you how to pitch. If you've got some properties and you want some investors, they'll teach you how to do that. So I would get into some of those bigger ones. The key thing is when you come on board, make sure that you're clicking on your interest because they do have a real estate interest one that's in there. And James, for you, if you've got a group of guys that are, on Clubhouse, and I know there's, if you haven't been onboarded correctly, if you've just kind of come on and tried to figure it out, there's a lot of, secret sauce in being onboarded correctly. So if you've got a group and you want to bring them together, I'll be happy to, do a a group coaching for you guys to take you through all the process because that it can increase your experience and get you to the right people. So I'm happy to do that for this group at any time. So just let me know.
Thank you. Thank you.
But don't be afraid to get on the stages and ask questions. And that's the big thing. When you get into a room and if you truly can add value, raise your hand, get up on the stage. And a lot of times what will happen is as people hear you adding value, then one, they'll either mod you or, it will create those partnerships. And, once you get kind of established and feel like you know what you're doing, definitely open up your own rooms. I always tell people, go around and really listen to the rooms and get an idea because it's a little bit different than any other app. They'll kind of study, how they're doing it. Some, when I have a course on how to be an amazing MCer, and so we really dive deep into the procedures and the tactics and the skills that it takes to really have a successful room. And there's a lot of back end stuff. There's a lot of things. I mean, it's not just opening up the room. There's a lot of, moving pieces that are with that. And so, that is something that is truly helpful because you want to have a room that's engaging. You want to have a room that's adding value. You also want to make sure that you have, in your title, it's kind of a lead gen so that, you're attracting the right people. So, it's you can open up a room, but if you want a successful room, there are some procedures and, techniques that you do need to go into.
Awesome. Wow. What a great insight. we know that in all these platforms, no matter the one you're talking about, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever, they all have their rules. They all have their, if you like, secrets that people should know for them to be successful. Looking at Clubhouse, what would you advise the real estate investors that can be termed the don'ts?
Don't go in and pretend you know everything. They will feel you out and send you to the wolves. So truly, if you are an expert in a field and you've got some value, go in and add value, but don't, raise your hand or don't try to be a speaker if it's something that you don't know. The other thing is don't overtalk people. Don't always try to upsell. A lot of times somebody's always got to, oh, that's great. But, if you find yourself doing that, that turns people off a lot. And, don't go in expecting that you're going to get that, $100,000 sale the first day. It's like any medium, you've got to build up and you've got to build that trust. You got to build that relationship and that rapport. Just to give you an idea of my business model, I'm big into mindset. So when I was on that stage, I really realized that the mindset was huge, and I do a deep dive into Think and Grow Rich. So what I did is I gathered, I just told people and I have a social tap, which is very, very helpful, because when you're on these stages, we don't have any clickable links at this point on Clubhouse. So I grabbed onto social tap. If you go to Jodeen.club, it's just my name, JODEEN.club, CLUB, and that will bring up my social tap. And that first 10-15 days when we were in the 24/7 room, I had over 250 messages a night. And it was stressing me out, because for me, if somebody's reaching out to me, I feel obligated to return and respond. And so I would get off at midnight, and then I would stay up until like 3 o'clock in the morning responding to all the messages. And I was like, man, I got to figure something out, because this is killing me. And that's when I found Social Tap. And that's been great, because now it directs, I have a real funnel that it directs people. If they're interested in the mindset, they can click on my mindset, and that takes them into my free group. And then if they're interested in my course, they can purchase the free course. So, they can purchase the How to Be an Amazing MCer. And then I also always am looking for, specialized knowledge and experts. So I actually have a Rolodex in there where I have a lot of people, because, I have 5 kids and I can't even get their names straight, and I birthed them. So I can't remember all the people that I met throughout the day. In fact, when I saw your pic, when you popped into that room, I was like, oh, James looks familiar. And then as soon as I heard your voice, then I remember, I was like, oh, it's James, but it's like, you just see so many people, and, here I see your face, there I see your profile, so, and I'm old and feeble, so I can't keep it all together. So I have a Rolodex. So a lot of people, I have people fill that out, but it's been great, because it doesn't matter what stage I'm on. I can say, hey, go to Jodeen.club, and that social tap has been wonderful, because it's, only $60 a year. I mean, to have, a tool that for $60, or you can do 6 months or $6 a month, but to have a tool that will allow you to just, expedite and get your leads, from Clubhouse to where you can actually work them. That's been wonderful for me. So because you guys understand lead gen, I can speak a little more openly as to what Social Tap does. But it's platform, it's learning those tools and finding those tools that can help you succeed. And, we also have a bot that's tied in there. So that's a little bit more interactive. And that's been a good thing too. So, I've got a team that definitely, without that team, I would not be where I'm at. They've helped me come in and, organize me and get me automated, because my main focus is to be on the stages. I pulled back a little bit, and that's the other thing too. Once you get on there, you got to make sure you've got that foundation. So I pulled back a little bit and started doing more of the foundation stuff, but now I'll be back on, Clubhouse and in the rooms and adding value.
Cool. Excellent. Thanks a lot for that, Jodeen. I also see that you have actually joined so many rooms, and each time you join the rooms, you are just up there talking and adding value, and you know all these guys up there. Is there any cool trick that you would say you've discovered in this a few times that this platform came on?
Well, the big thing is the people that you follow are going to be the rooms. The algorithms is really unique on Clubhouse because you are rewarded by following the right people. So if you are interested in real estate investments, or if you're, looking for just investments or whatever it is, make sure you follow those people, because then it's going to open up more rooms for you. So when those people go in to be speakers, or if they're in listening, then it will allow, it'll ping up to you that those rooms, and in your hallway, it will also open up those rooms for you too.
Okay.
So, as soon as you get in there, I always tell people, go into rooms, find the like-minded people that are speaking and resonating with you, follow them, and then as they get, into more rooms, definitely follow. And the other thing I tell people too is look around. We've got a lot of times you'll get in a room and there's 200-300 people, and it's in an app, but if it was a live event, you'd be shaking hands with the people to the to your right and to your left. You'd have conversations. So I always tell people too, like the people that are next to you, because with that you have like-minded people. There's a reason they're in that room, and that could be the next JV that you get to connect and have a conversation with. So you just have to step into your space, and don't be afraid to make connections, because like I said, at the end of the day, it's all based on relationships.
Absolutely. Oh, wonderful, great. Another thing that I know can actually help people when it comes to people connecting with you, following you, and then also serving as lead gen is the bio. Now, I didn't figure this out on time. It took me quite a while before I could figure out the importance of bio. Do you want to throw a little bit light on how important the bio is?
Yes, the most important part of your bio is the first 3 lines. So whatever you do, make sure you put that within that first 3 lines, because that's when somebody first clicks onto your picture, that's what pops up first, and then they can view the whole bio. But the big part of that too is it's all searchable, even the emojis. So that is a feature that they really strongly suggest. So I always say if Christian, and it's more searchable at the top. So, if you are a Christian and Christianity is important, put that little cross somewhere within the first, quarter of your resume, or bio, I call it a resume. But in your bio, put it in that first 1/3, because those, when people are searching them, then you're going to come up in that. So, if real estate is one, you can always put the house in there. There's you don't have to have just the words, because the emojis are actually searchable as well. So,
right.
But yes, spend some time on your bio, because that is a very important part of Clubhouse. People read that, and there's a couple of rooms that have actually started, instead of you being able to speak your what you do, some of them are reading the bios. So make sure you kind of look at that too, and is it something that's portraying truly what I am, so that if they are doing that those keywords are being grabbed and highlighted.
Awesome. And you see, one thing that I like so much about Clubhouse is people are free when they are talking, and majority of the people I've gone into rooms with, they are honest, they really want to deliver value. And you see all these gurus that they are very, very difficult for you to reach, but you can just see them on Clubhouse, and they are just pouring out on people, which is really, really good. And it's been a very good plus for Clubhouse. Right. Thank you. You wanted to say something?
No, I was just, when you have teenagers, I had to make sure. It wasn't a mom, I need you now. So that's one thing. When you have 5 daughters, I've always made it that I will check the email or and that's the cool thing too about Clubhouse. You know, it's real life.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys were on when Elon Musk was on the Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
I actually popped into, I thought I was going into the main room, but I got pushed into a backup room and ended up emceeing that room. And we had 5,200 people on in that room listening to Elon Musk. And it just kind of, you know, humbled me to have him speak into it. And, you know, you could hear the dog barking in the background. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Jodeen, is there any other thing that you wish to throw out to our audience there that I've not asked you, but you feel, oh, this is going to be very useful to them?
Yes, I think the big thing is to just go in with an open mind and allow yourself to be open to the relationships. But, you know, like I said, don't expect that $100,000 the first day. Marinate it. And just to give you guys an example, you know, I did 20 days on a stage 24/7 and, you know, co-hosted that room. And then I also gifted the mindset for 21 days of you know, Think and Grow Rich. And so I just want you to understand that's a lot of servant leadership, you know, before asking for the first daughter. So I just want you guys to understand that it is a viable app. But, you know, it's like any other, you know, you got to be able to build those relationships and also serve. So if you go in with a servant heart, if you go in, you know, not really, you know, ready to pounce on things, but there are, especially for the real estate investment, you know, Grant Cardone's in there. They are always like Grant. I emceed for him, and you know, he's looking for, you know, he one of his rooms, he had $100,000 that he was looking for startup cap, you know, that he was willing to put in for startup capital. So those rooms are out there. Please feel free to connect with me because and make sure you follow me because I get into a lot of, you know, crazy rooms. And but it gives you a good insight of different things that are on there. So please feel free to, you know, follow me on Clubhouse. Be happy to help you. And James, if you get a group together, I would be happy to help onboard and, you know, serve your community the best I can. And you know, if anybody has any questions, love to connect with you. And also make sure you guys do fill out that Rolodex because I'm always looking for experts, you know, looking for people that I can pull in. That's the next step that we're doing, you know, for my strategy is now that I've got my base and got everybody set up on my, you know, I actually built a membership, so it's a monthly reoccurring.
Okay.
So that way I can put people in at any time. And then, but I'm also starting to build up my stages again. So we will be bringing in experts and, you know, I would love to get all the real estate people in and just talk, especially bring people from all over the world and, you know, discuss because I think that we can all learn from each other. So that's part of my strategy and blueprint as well. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jodeen. I know you've been mentioning along the interview how to reach you. Well, do you just want to just wrap it up now that, look, if you need this, or if you need me, or if you want to connect with me, go this, so that it's clear for everyone that is listening to this episode.
Happy to, and thank you so much. So the easiest way to connect with me is Jodeen, Jodeen.club, CLUB, and that is a website. So just put it in the URL. It'll pop up my social tab. On my social tab, you will see different buttons that you can push. And so if you're interested in the mastermind, I'd love to have people, you know, mindset is huge, 80-20. You know, we are always looking for tactics and skills, but, you know, it's the mindset. If we don't have that 80%, you're going to fail. So that is a free 21-day mastermind that we do. And if you want to be an expert and talk on stages, click on that Rolodex because I'm always looking for, you know, experts that I can put you in. And if you want to learn how to be an amazing MCer and want to know how to run a successful room, I strongly suggest that you come into that because there is definitely some skill to that. And more importantly, it will help you get associated because when I I'm getting so many requests to open and host rooms. I can't do all of them. I also, allow all of my students that come through to be able to do that so that they can actually have an income. I know you guys are mostly into investing in real estate, but if you've got somebody that wants to, actually host rooms and make money from Clubhouse, that's a great way of doing that as well. So that's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jodeen. It's been a wonderful time having you to talk to our real estate investors about Clubhouse, an amazing platform that people are really utilizing now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to us on this Wealth Metric podcast. You've seen how to link up with Jodeen if you want to. I would strongly encourage you guys to do that. And you can also link up with me. I'm also on Clubhouse. Is James EGO. So at James Ego, you can link me up on the Clubhouse. And of course, you can also get some good resources if you want resources that you can use for your real estate business. You go to resources.wealthmetricsltd.com resources.wealthmetricsltd.com, and you have loads of resources. Thank you so much for listening to us, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Thanks, James. It's great following you.